Hey, thanks for joining me again today as we're talking with Mike Condon, Vice President of Franchise Development at HomeWell Care Services. Um, I am not actually at the beach today as much as it looks like I am, but I thought this would be a fun change of pace for the backdrop. And in the interest of full disclosure today, as we talk about HomeWell, I do need to make sure everybody knows as a consultant, I have operated pretty direct relationship with HomeWell for several years now. So just in the interest of transparency, I'd like to get that out there. So welcome, Mike. Introduce yourself for us.
Awesome. Thanks, John. Thanks for having me. Excited to talk all things home care today and share our story with you. As you said, I've been at Homewell now for just going on 2 years now. Took over as a vice president back in early this year, or I'm sorry, a year ago in 2023, and it's been a great ride so far. So excited to meet with you today.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And everybody needs to know, you took over in 2023 was the best franchise development year HomeWell's ever had. So,
I mean,
a little pat
just
on the back
saying.
to
No,
you, right? So
very blessed to have a great team around me.
tell us a little bit about how HomeWell got started. What's the history and the backstory about HomeWell?
Yeah, Homo's got a pretty unique backstory when it comes to franchising. We started back in 1997 was started by a gentleman named Josh Hoffman. Josh was really good at the operations and the caregiving of the business, and he saw a really great opportunity. So 2003, Josh decided, hey, we need to take this across the country and began franchising as Homewell Senior Care. But like a lot of times in franchising, what you see is the person that starts the business is really good at the operations, but maybe not so much at growing the brand itself. So to Josh's credit, he saw that and he saw an opportunity to bring in somebody that really understood franchising, how to grow a franchise brand. So from in 2017, we were sitting at about 35 units or so. Josh decided to bring in a gentleman named Bruce Haas. Bruce's background was in hotels, ran several large hotel franchise chains across the country and across the world, and ended up selling the business to Bruce fully in 2018. And I think that did two things. One, with Bruce's background in franchising, Bruce was able to see a vision to take this company and really expand it to a much larger audience. And it really has allowed us to bring in franchising people. And why I say that's important for anybody looking at this type of industry is for two reasons. One, um, our team really understands franchising as a business, right? We understand how to help you, the franchisee, be successful. The second part of that is the resource side of it is, again, bringing in resources to help you grow a great business. And when Bruce took over in 2018, he really saw that opportunity. We rebranded into HomeWell Care Services because, again, we don't just reach the senior population. We also reach anybody that needs these types of services, no matter what their age is. And it's really been a rocket ship since then. We've had some great success and excited to see where 2024 takes us.
Well, I think rocket ships are a great description, and the way I describe that to people, not just HomeWell, but anybody in a similar or any brand in a similar situation is scalability. Which really goes to why do you invest in a franchise to begin with, and that's to build a big business fast. I mean, in my opinion,
Yeah,
not I don't like to
absolutely.
tell people what to do, but that's what I hear a lot. Um, so let's talk a little bit about who, we've got two people who probably would be looking at this, and obviously we put it out there, it's a recording. But the first one is going to be somebody who's looking to get out of their corporate job. They want a career transition. They want to be their own boss. So let's talk a little bit to that person about why home care, what's the opportunity there, and why should they be looking at a business startup in home care?
Yeah, it's great question. So again, I agree. There's really two sectors that come together when they look at this industry. If you're looking at it, my background is corporate career guy, right? So I've transitioned into that. And I think when I look at it through my lens, the important thing when you look at from an opportunity standpoint, one, can it be bought and sold on Amazon? And there's nothing wrong with an online business, but when I look at business opportunities, I think you need to evaluate, is the market going to continue to grow? And when you're transitioning from a very stable career, you want to understand that the business opportunity you're going to take is going to be there in 5, 10, 15, 20 years, which home care will, right? It's not going anywhere, as we know the aging population and all the stats behind it. So I think when you look across it as a corporate refugee, I'll use, right? And when you're
Yeah,
looking to transition out of that, the stability of the industry and the growth of the industry are two things I think you should evaluate when deciding if this is the right move for you. And also, you brought it up, the scalability, right?
yeah,
This is a business model that you can take from zero to however big you want. Unlike some other brands out there in other industries, you're not having to build brick and mortars and add capital costs when building out a structure like in a home care business, right? The scalability is there for the taking, and it's really up to you to decide which way you want to take it. So I
right.
think when you're evaluating from a corporate transition, are you able to replace the income maybe where you're at? That's a question you can answer in this industry very very easily if you want to get there, and the scalability helps to that.
Absolutely. There's opportunity level across the space. And I need to even take a step back here and just make sure everybody understands what exactly we're talking about. I should have hit this a little deeper in my introduction, but in-home care services, we're talking about non-medical, so we're not sending nurses out, right? So you're
Mhm.
taking care of people in their home so they can age in place and not go to a facility. I mean, does that pretty much sum it up?
Yeah, think of it as activities of daily living, right?
Yeah.
And we want to make sure that when they do those activities, that they're safe, they're taken care of, and they have no accidents, and prevent them from going back either into the rehab facility or back into the hospital. So our services help them live that better quality of life, but with the
Yeah.
safety feature built in.
Perfect. So let's talk now about the second audience, which is people who are already somewhat familiar that this business exists and maybe are looking at HomeWell and five others. I mean, we all know
Mhm.
there's a number of competitors in the space because the opportunity, honestly, is so
Yeah.
big. So what makes HomeWell stand out against the competition, and why are these people maybe who have cared for a loved one and had to bring in caregivers and realized they're not all the same. Or maybe they work in the industry and they've managed an assisted living facility or they're in home care in some capacity and they're very aware of the opportunity and they just want to start their own agency. Why HomeWell?
Yeah, I think when you're evaluating a bunch of different brands in the same sector, I think there's a couple of things you need to evaluate. One, what knowledge base do I know that, or what knowledge base do I have, and what knowledge base don't I have in order to grow a successful business? I think that's something you need to evaluate. I think we do that very well. The way that we're set up to help our franchisees be successful is, if you have a home care background, that's great. We can help extend that knowledge base, but where we're really strong is helping you, how do you grow a successful business, right? Because there's two sides to this coin. Every one of our owners have the same thing in common, right? They have a passion to be in the industry, and if you're in healthcare, you're in it for a reason, right? So now you want to take that and grow that. Well, that's where a lot of our expertise can come in and help you, is really understanding the business and how to grow a scalable, profitable business so you can help more people in your community that you serve. I think that's something you really need to evaluate when you're looking across the landscape of home
Mhm.
care, is how are they going to support me and helping me be successful? Because at the end of the day, that's what this business model, that's what franchising is about.
Yep.
You have to find that right partner in order to feel great about being in business for yourself, but not by yourself, as everybody says, but growing that scalable business as well. And I think that's where we hit the sweet spot with people that have that medical background, but are scared because they don't have the business background. Well, that's where we're going to help you be successful.
Yeah, and I advise people all the time to, let's talk about what is your definition of success.
Mhm.
What are you really looking to do? If you just want to open an agency, have 10 clients and 10 caregivers working for you or whatever, you know, maybe you don't need franchising. It's like
Mhm.
opening a burger stand. If you want to cook burgers all day, you don't need McDonald's to have 10
Yep.
customers and whatnot. But if you want something that's scalable, franchising gives you the systems and the support to do well. The best franchises give you the
Yes.
systems and support. Sometimes we overgeneralize that, but I do want to hit on, what does it take to get started financially in this industry? And one of the key, I don't ever advise anybody make a decision on a brand specifically for the financing or for
Mhm.
the investment, because 10 or 15 grand one way or the other on what they tell you you're going to spend is nothing compared to the support and the people that you're really going to be partnering with. That's
Yeah.
where in my opinion you need to focus on those relationships that are going to support you for 5, 10, 20 years of running a business. But in this case, it is a unique thing that HomeWell offers. So tell us a little bit about the startup investment and the unique program that HomeWell offers.
Yeah, yeah. So we have what we call our ownership options. So we came out with this program. The premise of it was to understand that people really have a passion for this industry, and we wanted to lower the barrier of entry, right? Everybody knows when you sign on with a franchise, you have to write typically a check for 40, 50, $60,000 for a franchise fee. That's terrifying. John, you and I have both done that, right?
Right.
It's a scary proposition. So we wanted to take the fear out of that and allow you to use your capital the best way that you see fit. So we have two different ownership options for you. The first one, you can come in our traditional path. When you sign your agreement with us, everybody pays a $5,000 training fee. And then you have the option to pay the $49,500 franchise fee or not. The nice thing about it is you don't have to make that decision day one. You have 150 days or until you open your agency, whichever one comes first, to decide if you want to use that capital to put it to pay the franchise fee, or you want to take that capital and invest it in your business. And if you choose to invest it in your business, we do charge a higher royalty of 10% versus our standard 5 up until a predetermined amount. So we're essentially going to finance for you. The question that always comes next is, well, why would you guys do that? You guys are taking on a lot of the risk when it comes to that. We know if we find the right person with the right personality that has the right motivation to be in this industry, we know we can help them be successful. We are putting our money where our mouth is. And this program has proven that over the last 12 months that we've launched this. So we're willing to take that risk. If you're willing to take the risk with us, let's work together to build a great brand in your market and run a successful business. So those are really the two ways to look at this and say, we want you to use your capital the best way you see fit.
Yeah. And on top of that decision, you've got a roughly 100,000, 80 to 100,000 of working capital you're going to need
Correct.
in that ballpark. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
and that's for single territory. And then you get into deeper conversations if somebody wants a bigger area. But
Absolutely.
um, well, this has been awesome. I think this is great information, exactly what people are looking for. Hopefully they're watching this to learn about home care and specifically, HomeWell Care Services. How do people find out more?
Lots of different ways to get in
I
contact with
mean,
us. I'm sure John
obviously
John
they
will
know
have
how
a
to
link.
talk to me, right?
Talk to John. Find us at our homewellfranchising.com is a great way to connect with us as well. A lot of great resources on there for you to learn about us. I would encourage you, if you're curious, just have a call.
Yeah.
Let's just talk. Because again, this process is an education process. So I would encourage anybody interested just to reach out. Let's have a conversation, see if it's the right fit for you, see if it's the right fit for us, and take it one step at a time.
Yeah, and we don't bite. We're good guys, and we're going to tell you if it's right for you or not, right? Listen,
Absolutely, John.
Mike, thanks so much for joining me. The end screen here is going to have all the contact information too, if you need it. Appreciate your time and joining me today and
Awesome.
talking all things Homewell. Yeah.
Excellent. Thanks for having me, John. Appreciate it.